So in the last couple weeks, Tripwire has revealed more information about the Killing Floor 2 Halloween Update 2019, including the 5 new weapons, well actually 2 new weapons and 3 new weapon variants they're going to be adding in the Halloween Update, and also they revealed some controversial new changes to Killing Floor 2. Hey guys, this is Chris of B&B Gaming. Welcome back, and I hope you're doing awesome today. I missed you guys. I've been on for 2 or 3 weeks now. My dad passed away, I think 2 weeks ago, and then I had some major computer issues here, and my hard drive died, and which is actually not a bad thing because I found out that SSDs, solid state drives, are actually really cheap. I picked up a 1 terabyte SSD, an internal one, for $110. I mean, that's crazy. I remember when a 500 gigabyte was, if you got it under $200, you got a pretty good deal. So picking up a 1 terabyte SSD, actually not a bad thing. And yeah, definitely worth it. If you got the extra money laying around, I'd recommend picking one up for your PC. And I'm actually looking at getting an external one for my Xbox One X. I watched a couple videos on YouTube about the different loading times, and it looks like it could be pretty significant. Anyways, back to Killing Floor 2, and I feel like I'm a little behind here because, you know, they've been releasing information for the last 2 or 3 weeks, so this is going to be my catch-up video, and I'll probably do another video later this week because they just released a post, I believe, Monday or Tuesday of this week. So anyways, this information is going to be from the last, I don't know, 2 or 3 weeks here. So first of all, let's cover the maybe controversial changes they're making. And I'm going to put that in air quotes, controversial, because the more I think about it, the more I realize this actually is not a bad thing. It could potentially be a really good thing. They released a blog post, I believe it was 3 weeks ago, detailing that they're making monetization changes to Killing Floor 2. And I'll leave a link to it in the description below. So basically what it says is for the past 4+ years they've been providing free updates, so 4 updates a year, new weapons, new maps, new modes, a new boss, new enemies, etc. And the support by us players buying cosmetics, FX packs, new characters, etc. has been fantastic. However, they have gotten to the point in the life of Killing Floor 2 where the cost of development is greater than the projected return. So basically they had 2 choices. Either significantly scale back the updates, so maybe 1 weapon, maybe 1 map, you know, no new game modes, anything like that, maybe just really small stuff, or continue to flesh out Killing Floor 2, adding new modes, adding a bunch of new weapons, adding maps, etc. Basically what we expect, but they'll need to charge for certain DLC. Well, the good news is they decided to continue to work on Killing Floor 2 at the rate they are, continue to expand the game, continue to give us lots of guns, lots of maps, etc. However, to fund this, they've had to make a change. So moving forward, starting with the Killing Floor 2 Halloween Update 2019, all new weapons are going to be sold as weapon DLC. So each new weapon is going to be sold for $10, and for that $10 you're going to get the new weapon plus 5 unique weapon skins for them. Now I've suggested to them that one of the new weapon skins should be like a neon or neon RGB, but we'll have to see what happens. Now at this point you probably have a lot of questions, and I'll do my best to answer them here. The first question you might have is, will these weapons be direct purchase? And the answer is yes. So no Call of Duty loot box BS that they do over in Call of Duty, because I think that is the most grievous thing any company could do against their own player base, is put a OP weapon or a weapon in a loot box and make you buy like 50 of them to get them. They're not doing that. They're straight up direct purchase. You pay your $10, you get permanent access to the gun, and you get your 5 weapon skins. The second question you might have is, will these weapons be pay to win? And Tripwire said no, that they're committing to making sure these weapons are in line with other weapons in the game, and they're actually going to have, I forgot what they called it, but basically like a pre-beta where they're going to invite people in to help test these guns to make sure they're in line with the other guns in the game. As far as the new weapons themselves, Tripwire's focus is going to be adding new gameplay elements and roles with these weapons in Killing Floor 2. Another question you might have is, does this mean you won't be able to play with the new weapons in the new update? And I actually have two answers to this. The first answer I have is you actually will be able to play with these new weapons, actually try them out without actually buying them. And basically how it's going to work is if someone in your game lobby owns these weapons, you're going to have access to them at the trader. Exactly the way the Zweihander works on PC and also the Road Redeemer on PC and console. So if someone owns Road Redemption in your game, you have access to buying the Road Redeemer from the trader in your game. It's going to work the same way. So actually it's not a bad thing because you're going to be able to try out the guns and see if they're any good. Now the second answer is they're actually adding a new class of weapon called Horzine Research Group, and these weapons are going to be free. And basically what they're doing here is they're taking existing weapons, for example the nail gun that's for the Berserker, and they're modifying it slightly for the SWAT, or for whatever class they're modifying it for. And in this update they're adding the nail gun for the SWAT, they're adding revolvers for the support, and they're also adding a modified freeze thrower for the medic. Now another question you might have is, are they going to be charging for anything else, like for maps or anything else moving forward? Tripwire said everything else is going to be free, so just the new weapons. So all the new features, all the new maps, all the potential new enemies, the new boss that they're working on, the new HRG weapons, all of them are going to be free. In the next WWAUT, I think it was a couple weeks ago, they actually shared the two new paid weapon DLC weapons. And they're calling these the shared content list weapons. And this is going to be joining the Zweihander and also the Road Redeemer. So again, if someone owns these weapons in your game lobby, you'll have access to buy them at the trader. So along with the Zweihander and Road Redeemer, in this update they're adding a new weapon called the Rhino, or Rhinos since you're going to buy two of them. And this is a new revolver for the gunslinger. Now according to the blog post, the Rhinos are actually going to shoot fragmentation rounds. And according to the description, it sounds like they're going to have good penetration. The blog post says that Zeds downrange will not know what hit them once these frag rounds are expelled out of the other side of the recently impacted Zed into the horde behind them. Now the Rhinos themselves are going to start out at tier 3, and the shrapnel is also going to ricochet. Now I asked if the Rhinos are also going to be for the sharpshooter, since they are a revolver, and I never did get a reply on that, so I'm assuming not. One thing I do want to try with the Rhinos is on Survivalist with Zedsplosion. I noticed with Zedsplosion on Survivalist, if you're using a shotgun, it tends to proc quite a bit, so they're blowing up in front of you a lot. Well, since these are shooting fragmentation rounds, so you got a lot of pellets flying around, maybe it's going to proc Zedsplosion quite a bit, so I'm looking forward to trying that out. Now the second new paid weapon DLC is the Ion Thruster. Now this thing is going to be a tier 5 weapon for the Berserker. So the Ion Thruster is going to have a superheated retractable blade. And the description says that taking damage stores up energy. In the blog post it says they found a way to store up kinetic energy taken from impacts as heat energy in the blade itself, which then can be unleashed. Which sounds pretty interesting. Does this mean the kinetic energy is from blocking or doing parrying, or just getting pummeled in the head by a bunch of fleshbounds? I don't know, it's kind of interesting. Now in addition, the Ion Thruster is also going to light Zeds on fire. The blog post says that the Ion Thruster cuts through them like butter and lights whatever it doesn't cut on fire. Another thing they mention is the Ion Thruster actually has a special attack. And it says that do a reload check to execute a special attack at full power. Now next they gave us details about the Horzine Research Group weapons they're going to be adding in this update. In the blog post it says, as a reminder, the HRG weapons are free for all players, and that our goal with these weapons is to provide some new gameplay opportunities to different perks using some pre-existing assets. Now as far as the HRG weapons coming in the Killing Floor 2 Halloween Update 2019, the first one they revealed is the HRG Health Thrower. Now the Health Thrower is for field medics and also survivalists. And the way it sounds, it's actually going to shoot gas, kind of like the 501's grenades or the actual medic health grenades. Now in addition, the Health Thrower is also going to have medic darts so you can, shoot guys at range. One thing I'm excited to try with the Health Thrower is actually Survivalist with Medic Expert. Now Medic Expert on Survivalist makes your healing and also your poisoning abilities 50% more powerful, so I'm interested to try that out. The next Horzine Research Group weapon they revealed is the HRG Nail Gun. Now the HRG Nail Gun is for the SWAT and also Survivalist, and again I'm interested to try this out with Zedsplosion on Survivalist. So the HRG Nail Gun is going to have two fire modes just like it does on Berserker, fast firing bouncy nails and triple fire bouncy nails. One thing I'm really curious to find out about the HRG Nail Gun on SWAT, how the SWAT's passive increased mag size will affect this weapon. Are you going to have like 100 rounds with this thing? That'd be pretty awesome. And finally they revealed the HRG Buckshot Revolvers. And these are for the support, and according to the description they're going to be dual wield. And one thing I'm really interested about with these are, again, how would they work on Survivalist with Zedsplosion? So what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. What do you think of the paid DLC, the new weapons, the two new paid weapons, the HRG weapons? Let me know what you think. For me, when they first announced the paid weapon DLC that we're going to have to pay $10 for new weapons, so in this update it's going to be like $20, I was like, I don't know if I want to drop $20 on the update, even though I probably spend $30-40 on cosmetics every update. I thought, well, I don't know if I want to have to spend $20 every update, and maybe they start adding 3 new weapons, I don't know. But as time has gone on, I've started to realize that I'm okay with it, to be honest with you. I've played this game for 1,000+ hours, and one thing I like about it is they're using the shared content system, so if there's other people in my game that for some reason, if they can't afford to buy the weapons, they can use them as well. And I totally understand. I mean, I've been in situations in my life for $10-20. That was a lot of money, man. That was food. So I totally understand. Well, this way it's kind of cool, and what's cool about the Killing Floor 2 community, I think overall we're actually a very supportive, help each other out community, so I don't think that's really a big deal. And honestly, over the past year, I've noticed our updates have been getting a little smaller. Like there isn't quite as much new stuff in there, and it just feels like, they're kind of slimming them back a little bit. I'm assuming this is why that maybe the past 2 updates have been kind of going in the red a little bit. Hopefully people buying the paid weapon DLC will reinvigorate Killing Floor 2, where they're able to put more resources into the game and give us more guns, more bosses, more Zeds, just more and more of Killing Floor 2, and that's what I want.